Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another breakdown here. FX.GOLDSMITH with gold spot versus the US dollar. Today's date, 2023-08-17 here. It's about 6:15 in Asian session for me. Let's take a quick review on what happened today during New York session and see what we can kind of analyze, for the end of the week coming up tomorrow. Let's take a quick look at Forex Factory here just on the calendar to confirm we don't have any fundamental catalysts affecting price action. So simply a price-driven day tomorrow. So let's see kind of where we're at on the weekly here, just to give ourselves an indication if we have more room to push or if we've reached target for tomorrow. Let's see, we have another day, so we're kind of approaching below this 1904, below this 1905, looking a little lower here. We have room to come to 75. Okay, so let's plot that there. Let's plot this there. Okay, so a little choppy in this kind of area, a little bit on the weekly time frame. You can see there's kind of multiple rejections, large rejections, and supports created within this zone. So if we can close below we can close below, 1890 kind of thing, then I can really anticipate at least us coming down to the 75s, which is, another 150 pips, 170 pips kind of thing. But ultimately, I want to say that this 1875 area is going to be your biggest, strongest weekly support right now. If you close below there, you have actually clean traffic all the way down, hundreds of pips, 600 pips, that kind of thing. So for right now, we got to see how this weekly closes up tomorrow, and that's going to stem from the daily. So let's clear the chart. Let's look at the daily and see what we've done here. Okay, so post this. That lines up there with 83. Okay, wonderful. So looking at price action on the daily, what did we do? Created this very weak resistance, but nonetheless resistance on the daily to sustain this closure below. So this push down, we did end up closing below on the daily 1900s, 1902, which is great. We retested that area, pushed all the way down, kind of tapped our daily rejection level. Breaking it down for the 4 hour, we can adjust some of these zones a little bit. So you can see that we had a low established here yesterday, a new high created, a lower high created over London and New York session this morning, which is great. Sustains the push down, reached kind of our 85 target that I mentioned earlier in the week. So that's great. A couple hundred pips there. If you guys took advantage of that, awesome. So essentially, here we are now waiting for our pullback. Based off of kind of us hitting these zones on the daily, you can see that we get a lot of rejection here, a lot of bounce, right? So I don't expect this to just cruise through this area very simply without creating some further retests, etc. And we do need some pullbacks on the weekly. So as you approach kind of 1880, you can see that we're getting lots of bounces from here. It takes multiple days, multiple retests, either bounce or break, etc. So more than likely tomorrow won't be too much of anything. You can see that this daily candle did close bearish, but also very weak in comparison to the previous candles here. Very strong closures, a retest, a push, rejection from the 1980s, 1985. So ultimately, I'm looking for probably a little bit of a bullish move over the next few sessions here. That being said, we are heavily bearish, right? That is still the bias. So I would load up on positions if you can find price action setting up for a bearish push, but we just have to wait and see. That would be, a new lower high being created on the 4 hour. Dropping down to the 1 hour time frame here, you can see I talk about this all the time. We had a rejection. Let's get rid of this. Let's go to the 1 hour. Let's move that. Perfect rejection from the 1900s after finally correcting this impulsive move. I posted this in, I believe, our Discord and maybe even the YouTube here the other day. We dropped from 1905, 130 pips down to 1890 without creating any bullish and bearish candles in here, any structures, any lower high. So this area needed to be corrected and retested, which is exactly what it did this morning during New York session and pushed over London. We finally created that high at the area that we wanted to see it at our 1900 rejection level, came all the way down, hit our final target. So again, in here, this is a very impulsive move for 150 pips. Nowhere do we see a bullish and a bearish candle. You will see that when you drop down to the 30-minute, which is exactly where you can enter positions with stops above the high, right? Because it's creating a resistance. The resistance sustains continuation, and therefore you can hold positions to your target. So both of these counter candle moves were good entries. This is where, you are looking for your A1 setups up in the rejection area key level of 1900. So some people may have taken advantage of this initial counter candle, but I believe there was some news at that time. So we might have sat on our hands there a little bit for the most part, but great moves. And you can see if you enter at these positions, these counter candles, price never comes back after its initial first retest. With volume, price never comes back to take you out. So you can hold full stops, right? You get the push if you want to take profits or whatever, secure positions, but you can hold your full stops. You can put your position to break even and things will never get hit. So that's until, of course, we reach our target and reject. So what I'm trying to say here is we have this very impulsive move. We had no lower high. So that's essentially what we're looking for. Potential areas of this rejection can stem from here. And notice how right now you may be saying, well, Reese, look, we're trading above that area. Keep in mind the previous hour never closed above. So until you get a closure above, this can come up, break the high, close back below, and that gives you your lower high on the hourly. So that's what we're looking for, is a bearish candle to now create our lower high for a continuation all the way back down, maybe to 82, or at least these lows here at 86, depending what the 30-minute says. Some of these areas might be your targets at 1890. On the sells, it may start to bounce in and around here, but essentially, if we want to stick with kind of that bearish bias, if you haven't gotten into any of these positions to the buys for the correction move that you were anticipating, then we'll lean onto our sells here. So wait for a bullish and a bearish close, some break of the lows. You can enter positions to retest your intra-session lows to 85, 86, 87, 88, that kind of target. So, but again, like I said, we are expecting a pullback here. You can even see one as far as 1900s here over the course of the next couple sessions. I understand that this daily doesn't have a bottom wick. So I am expecting maybe price to come down, give it a bigger bottom wick. We can do that in our higher volume times, still flip up and drive. So it's really just waiting on price action here. If you guys want to take advantage of the new hourly lower high being created, I would recommend doing so. It may happen at any of these three areas. So let me write this out here for you. Let me go. So area number 1 right here, 85. Potential area number 2, potential area number 3. And let me put them below, because if it closes above, you're looking for continued buys after getting a support, right? Here, when I put these below the lines, that means price never closed above, right? So sells here if price closes above, or if price fails to close up. Sells here if price closes below. Another word for saying below is inability to close above, right? So however your guys' brain, I know everybody thinks and sees the charts in a different manner. This is simply the way that I look at the charts and gives me my edge. Um, so yeah, inability to close above or close below, right? Um, as you guys are seeing here, we have pushed up. Again, we have 37 minutes for this candle to close. Who's to say that this 30-minute will close bearish, the next 30-minute close bearish, and now this hourly looks like a bullish, or sorry, bearish close, right? So we're just going to wait and see what happens. So yeah, guys, waiting on a lower high on the 1 hour, waiting on a lower high for the 4 hour. Um, a new 4 hour just closed, so I do like this bottom wick and drive a little bit. Yeah, as you can see, like things may be setting up here early for us right now. In Asian session, we may very well get this push down in Asian session, break the lows, give our daily candle a bottom wick, and then London and New York actually push up to retest these 1900 highs as well. So keep in mind, I don't expect too much price action and volume volatility tomorrow. There's no catalysts. We have driven down quite a bit. I am expecting pullbacks, right? We have reached our weekly, our daily targets here. So just be safe in the markets, wait for your setup and wait for things to align properly, guys. And I appreciate everybody's activity in the Discord and following along with the IG, as well as some of the YouTube videos. Honestly, I know that trading is a very difficult game, and I'm, every day like you guys battling the charts as well. So I'm just trying to give everybody some free game and make things a little easier. It can be kind of a lonely space. Especially, I'm not live streaming trades and stuff like that. I think that may be something that I will conquer in the future. But as of right now, I like to kind of trade on my own and just give you guys a little bit of insight and help review some charts and give you guys ideas. So again, to conclude and to reiterate, potential retest of lows here after creating a lower high. Be careful though, because if you don't start really closing below here and creating those new lower highs and continuations, that this is going to be a rejection area, and we may stem all the way back up to our 1898s, 1900s type deal. So that's the move. Those are the possibilities. Let's see if it works out. We've been fairly accurate for the first 4 YouTube videos that I've posted. And like I said, some of us has taken advantage of 200 plus pips since Monday. So let's see if we can keep it up and enjoy the video, you guys. Thanks so much. We'll see you in the morning.